welcome to Lisa Marvin Art in my new studio. You hear the echo because like these ceilings are 20 feet tall in my basement, so it's a little annoying, but I can't complain because I have a lot of space. I'll just do a little 360. It's messy right now. These are where I keep my paints. This is where there's going to be more storage. This is where, I'm going to resin some things and more storage. My little workout area if I ever get to working out, and that's it. So also I've sprained my thumb. My husband kicked me by accident, so he says. So it's kind of painful, but I can't stop painting, so we'll just kind of take our time with that. And I'm very messy. So how to make pigments into a cell activator. So you know, if you watch me, that I've been using only this little pigment, TLP, lately. Not only because I know the people who make it and they're awesome, but also actually because in my opinion, they are the best pigments that don't fade. They're super sparkly, really a lot of cool colors. Look at this neon. You need like sunglasses when it dries. But let's talk about how to make a cell activator out of your pigment. So I use the Shelly Art recipe, and I have a 15% off code for the whole class because it's more than just a recipe, but I'll tell you the cell activator recipe that we came up with for pigments, which is the magic sauce, Australian Floetrol. It's different than Canadian or American, and no one will ever tell you what the difference is. It's like a big secret. And there's a lot of recipes of how to make North American Floetrol kind of like this, but there's absolutely no comparison, and you can get it now at Fluid Art Company in the States and soon to be in Canada. Now, to make a pigment cell activator, you need two other things. For the neons, and probably most neons, I shouldn't say that, at least for the Fluid Art Company, the Piggy neons, they are matte. So what we want to do is we want to thicken up the cell activator. You could use pigments alone with your Floetrol, but you'll have to use a lot of them to make them thick enough. So what we do is we add some heavy gloss gel. Now this is Liquitex. You could use others, but I think Liquitex is better a little bit, but definitely try with others. But I lied to you because this is the gloss gel. For the neons, you don't need the gloss gel, you need the matte gel. So just for neons, we thicken up with the matte gel. For every other pigment with sparkles in it, because the matte gel dulls it, we add as well the gloss gel. The reason we add matte to begin with is because it helps with forming of the cells. So to repeat, because I'm sure I confused you, when you're using neons, you just use the matte. When you're using your sparkly pigments, you use half and half of the matte and the gloss. The thinking is to make your pigment almost as thick as a tube paint, so when you add it to your Floetrol, it will make it thick enough. Did that confuse you? So this is, I mixed up already, this is a sparkly, this is sangria, beautiful red color, so this was with half and half. So my ratios are, and this was just eyeballing it, which I always do, but to go slowly, an ounce, because I use 4-ounce cups, an ounce of Floetrol, a teaspoon of your pigment, and a teaspoon of your gel. So if you're using matte, I use 1 teaspoon of the matte. If you're using a sparkly, I use half a teaspoon of the gloss, half a teaspoon of the matte, which equals 1. So you're remembering 1, 1, 1. Not so hard, right? So I'll show you how I mix up this one. And then we will do a simple, oops, can you see? Yeah. Simple negative space swipe, hopefully. I'm filthy, sorry. Okay, so the annoying thing about adding the gels after the Floetrol is it's like super lumpy and hard to break up. So I think I'm actually going to add the Floetrol matte together first and make it smooth, and then add my pigments. So and shake up your Floetrol. Let's add about an ounce. This is about an ounce, I would say, give or take. And then I'm going to add a teaspoon of my matte gel. And again, I'm just eyeballing, so probably 2 bloops. Okay, and it's gonna be lumpy, so you gotta mix it for a few minutes. It's really hurting my thumb, guys. Okay, mixing, making sure it's all mixed up. This is gonna be the longest video ever, I'm sorry. You're probably wondering what this is. This is for if Sneakers comes down and bugs me, I beep him, but he's actually behaving today. He has been such a pest lately because I'm back in the city in my house. I've been building the studio down here, and he's like because we've been at the cottage all year and he was kind of raised there. So he's like a junkyard dog, and he escapes, chases cars. He's like a total horrible nuisance, poor little guy. So when you're opening up your pigments, make sure they're far from your face. You should really be wearing a mask to be safe because there's many little particles. So I'm going to guesstimate another teaspoon, maybe a little bit more than that. And you can really tell by the color because the Floetrol kind of dampens the color a little bit because it's white. So you want to mix slow because you don't want all those particles to fly up everywhere. Going slow again. Thanks for your patience. So right now it's kind of looking yuck, but if you give it a few minutes, you can start stirring vigorously when all of the powder's in there. So now I'm going to mix vigorously while you watch. How are we doing? And you really do have to eyeball stuff, even with ingredients, and that's why when you join the group, you kind of have a better idea of things. But this is a little grainy. So that is the problem with sometimes making your Floetrol thicker first before you put in your pigments. So perhaps, like I said, I've done both ways where I dispersed pigments first in the Floetrol. It's just harder to mix in the gels in it. So you would just have to be a little more patient. All right, it's looking better. Now you want this a little thicker than your regular cell activator. I find it makes better cells. This might be a tad too thick though. Let's see. Yeah, it's not even, so you want it to stream down. This is a little touch too thick. I'm just gonna add a touch more Floetrol. That's how you thin it out. Because what you learn about the blooms is consistency, is everything. Now also with a bloom, you wouldn't normally just use pigments, but swipes are much more forgiving with holding up their layers. So hopefully it will work. But I just wanted to do an all piggy bloom. All piggy swipe, I should say. All right, so we're a little better. So it's a little thick, but I like to mix the pigments, as I said, a little thicker. Okay, so we're mixed up. I'm going to head you over to my spinner. I'll see you in a minute. Okay, so now I'm gonna go in a different direction. I've done the swipe. It's okay. I don't even know if I'm gonna post it. Here, I'm trying. Oh, it's stuck on the bottom here. Hold on. It's okay. So it definitely, you can't see. Stretched out nice. That's what it looks like swipe. But I wasn't crazy about the colors and it's kind of just boring. So I'm gonna try to blow out a bloom with both cell activators that I did. The Sangria and the Groovy. Yep, Groovy. So I'm gonna keep it simple with the colors. I'm going to start with Matisse Southern Ocean Blue. Okay. Now in the middle, I'm gonna put, this is TLP Comet. It's a red interference, but it really shows up pretty pinky, which I love. And then I'm gonna, oops, that was a lot. And then I'm gonna top it off with PBO iridescent blue-green. And then I'll do the double cell activator of pigments, which I've never done before. Is it gonna be crazy? So you know what? I'm gonna do a dot of the groovy first, and then I'll put the sangria on top to see what happens. Is that nuts? Could be, but you know, we like to be nuts around here. All right, let's see. I'll bring it back to the middle. All right, interesting-ish. Right, kind of. So we have some cool cells in the middle. You can see. It's also kind of boring. Let's modify it a little bit. Just, I'm taking a popsicle stick. I'm not the best at modifying, but at least if you have parts that you don't like, you can, like I like the middle, I just don't like what happened here. Do we think I can fix it? Je ne sais pas. That means I don't know in French. I used to be bilingual, by the way. Okay. I want to get rid of this blue thing here. We don't know if this is actually working or doing anything nice, but we're just going to keep going to try to save the day, right? And I'm just kind of going, again, I'm not the best at this, but I'm just kind of going with the lines. Whatever, let's give her a go. Oops, it's not helpful. Bring it down a little bit. Let's get that corner off. Oop, this whole thing just came right off, cool. Making a mess as usual. Okay. Maybe getting somewhere, but I'm not totally convinced. All right. I like it. It looks like something interesting now. Let's see if there's still paint on here. There's a little bit of paint left, but I think we're good. So you can see the red and the pink popping out. I think gives it interesting colors. And there you have it. So, is that my final answer here? Yeah, kind of cool, I think. Here you go. Double cell activator. And hope you enjoyed. Let me know if you have any questions. Have a good day.